This is why we bring you here. Absolutely perfect. All right. So now that I feel completely reinvigorated based on my co-caster helping me out, let's get into game number 3. No changes, of course. Dove and Bonnie going to be staying in here for KT. And I want to see whether Dove plays something else. Because, of course, he's named after Azir. So likely that he could be piloting that one. It's been banned a lot today, actually, weirdly enough.
Yeah.
We'll see how it goes.
I mean, it's really strong as a tool for late game team fights, but UCal has been fantastic with it. But even though he's not in anymore, I suppose the idea is that, you know, KT Rolster as a team have scrimmed a lot. They've played around UCal's Azir so much that the assumption is that they know how to play around it so well that you might as well just remove it, as we see instant Samira ban.
I like
let him play that one.
Samira is the best right now, so let's take it away. I think the Rel was the bigger problem, to be perfectly honest. I agree. And that's why he got player of the game, but that's okay. Taking away the Samira does get rid of a lot of that potency. As the Gnar also banned away. Udyr is going to be banned, so whether that's good or bad, I'm not entirely sure, because, you know, the Udyr did win game number 2, but I don't think it was due to him at all, personally, because, of course, the Rel engages plus Samira and Zoe existing were more the reason for that one. As a couple of jungle bans coming through from KT so far. Yeah,
it's going to be a pretty limited jungle pool here. I think it made a lot of the early game a lot easier and safer for the lead to go through for KT, but yeah, in the later parts of the game, he was practically irrelevant. So the Olaf coming through, first time we're going to see him in a while, is going to be very much a strong frontliner, one of Umti's favorite picks, as we see with the Samira band. We're going straight to Aphelios here as KT is like, you know what? If we could actually empower Hybrid and Zeus in the bottom lane, that's our weak point, right? Doran and UCal, top and mid, have had total control. It's Dove in this case, but you know what? All 3 of their drafts have really been focused around the bottom side of the map, and it's been working. So why not just keep going down that one? You banned the Kaisa, so if they're going to take Olaf, you get this R1, R2 Aphelios Thresh. Pretty fantastic start.
We'll see where Fredit Brion go as far as the bottom lane is concerned, as the Seraphine is available. Could be in support, but as we just learned, could be played in mid lane as well. And Lava falling prey to it, of course. But let's see what they're going to be picking up alongside it. I'd expect an AD carry of some kind, as Kalista is a consideration. Don't know about the Kalista Seraphine synergy, but we'll see how it does work.
Kalista's range being pretty low makes it pretty difficult to snowball the lane and keep chipping away at something like an Aphelios Thresh, but it is going to be a strong lane, and there's a lot of kill potential with Olaf running down to the bottom side of the map. So we'll see Pantheon. I actually really like this Pantheon pick. It was left open, we didn't talk about it, but it's going to give you a lot of extra protection in a lane that can definitely be the focal point. It looks like this is going to be the focal point of this game, especially for Fredit Brion's side of things. We'll see what the top lane ends up being, because that can change a lot, but at the moment, the Pantheon pick feels like the perfect defensive option.
I also really like it for, you know, setup in these ganks. You see a Kalista, targeted CC, pretty important. And certainly going to help them out there, so I like that one a lot. Gragas going to be banned away as we're looking at targeting out the top lane. Still, you know, we're not entirely sure whether this Seraphine is going to be heading into the bottom lane. But I am intrigued as to whether or not it's going to work out with the Kalista. We've seen a few, you know, caster Kalista type combos, right? Because it means that you can play a little bit further forward, and you can rely on the Fate's Call in order to get yourself out of any trouble. Of course, the Nico being a fantastic example, but a little bit more engagey, right? And if you are the Seraphine, sitting back is more the playstyle. This is odd. All of the top laners being removed here. Renekton and the Gangplank taken away, and then the Ornn going to be the follow-up.
Gnar's banned away, so this could end up being a Jace game, potentially. But KT with the bans on the Gragas and the Ornn, 2 really defensive and stable top laners, it almost makes me feel like they're looking for something like a Camille. As the Azir is left open, this time looks like they're considering it. They think better of it, though. It's the Orianna, so taking away a strong pick for Lava. Once again, under the assumption that it is going to be a Seraphine bot, but with the Rel here, okay.
Looks like the Light going to be stealing that one away. Yeah, I like the Rel Kalista a lot more, so that's why we were sort of umming and ahhing about whether or not Seraphine was going to be in the support position. And that's going to be the lock-in, so that's going to confirm Seraphine mid. And there's the Scion again.
Okay, so I think one of those comps that's very difficult to kill as we go to the later parts of the game, especially with the Olaf here. You have a really strong front line, and you're going to have a lot of healing, shields, once the Moonstaff Renewer comes online. We are going to see a very similar game. Oh, Karma to counter it? Okay.
Oh my god. Whoa.
So many shields. Atlas, where are we going?
We were joking about this actually in the break. We're like, oh, it's just going to be one of these like mega healing and shielding type games. And yes, that's precisely what it was. I think the example was, you know, having a Seraphine Soraka versus Karma Sona lane, but that didn't happen, but we got pretty close, to be perfectly honest.
I have to say too, Atlas, this might be a preview of where we head on 11.3. There's going to be a huge break. It is Lunar New Year next week, so
yeah, of course.
There's a big break between this patch and the next patch, but it looks like teams are already kind of like wink, wink. We're getting ready for that new meta that might come through with Gore Drinker having a huge nerf. Starrock's going to be less valuable. We're going to see a lot less frontliners. We might be going into a meta like this, so strap in. We might be changing the average game time of the LCK in next week's or in 2 weeks' time. But right now, we're already getting a little bit of a preview of that.
Yeah. Let's see how many Serpent's Fangs gets built this game, because that's a lot of shields. Like, on the side of KT, they've got Karma Shield, they've got the Command Protect from Orianna, and they've even got a Lantern to throw in on top of it. There is so much shielding.
Not to mention Bonnie
walks around
shield.
with a shield.
Yeah. He's physically got a shield.
Oh my god.
Oh man, but this could be one of those really long games where it's a lot about the late game team fights, because getting a huge lead early outside of the Aphelios Thresh in the bottom lane, which might end up being successful, I think the pace of this game is going to be very slow.
Yeah, the thing that I'm worried about on the side of KT is they don't have a lot of frontline. It's just basically Pantheon that I guess does have his shield that can mitigate a lot. However, that's not up all the time. And so it will take a bit of finesse to get these team fights to work. You look on the side of Fredit Brion, though, they're lacking damage in a big way. So it's, there's certainly some interesting parts of both of these comps, and we'll see how it is going to work out as we are, of course, onto the Rift for game number 3. Hoya already taking the first bit of damage as he's the real choo-choo train. Chose the correct skin here this time.
Actual full train build. You know, this is going to be a very slow top matchup. The bottom as well is something that you can see sometimes. Aphelios snowball if the jungle gives him a ton of early help. Like if he almost basically gets pocketed by Bonnie down there, and there's a lot of roaming, and get some turret plate advantages with Aphelios. But into the Rel Kalista, it feels like you're not really going to be able to crush that lane and get a bunch of turret plates and get ahead. You know, so the Aphelios lane swapping that we see so often in the LCK feels less and less likely.
Yep.
So it just feels like these first few fights aren't gonna happen. Like I was gonna say they're gonna be slow, but I wonder if like anyone's really gonna be like, well, let's move to this objective, because it's just gonna be so risky. I don't know. I'm excited for this.
Me too. Well, we got an unsealed spellbook this time around for the Seraphine. Taking Resolve Tree second as well. Has that extra cooldown reduction. Wants to be spamming those abilities. Pretty understandable stuff. And here on the bottom side, we're just trying to get some biffo. There's the crash down. He's going to land on a hybrid as Zeus gets them all away as best he can with the flay. The skin is pretty hype.
Yeah.
Haven't seen too much of that one here in the LCK so far.
Very, very fancy looking.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, right now, you know, it's level 1, and it's a Thresh Aphelios, so you're going to see a lot of aggression here on the bottom side for Fredit Brion. Like, this is how the early part of this matchup is going to go. The later part of it is going to go this way, too, if we don't see a lot of commitment from Bonnie as a rush fight.
Yeah, Q not going to quite land there from Lava, but gets himself the shield back, and that's going to allow him to win out in the trade. Charging up that passive as best he can, then he's going to throw stuff around a lot, which is cool. But look, this is a lot of sustain and a lot of shields and having a good time here in the lane as Lava now has that passive up. And oh no, what? Did Dove get it? That's all the money, but it just looked like it didn't. I think neither of them managed to get the cannon.
Yeah.
And there goes Hoya. He nailed it. Managed to pick that one up. As of course, this is like a game number 6 of the night, and that one is going to go wide. As Doran has played a lot of the Karma. and has a
very meta.
huge win rate on it as well.
Very meta.
And by a lot, I mean 7 games, but
Still.
yeah,
it was kind of a niche meta pick last year. Something I studied a lot prepping for this. Watched a lot of Karma games.
Yeah.
You guys were less enthusiastic about the Karma at that time.
don't be confused because I'm still not enthusiastic about it now.
Okay, just need to check. Need to make
don't
sure.
worry. The enthusiasm level's quite low when it comes to Karma on the top side of the map. That being said, I mean, it's against a Scion, and Scion's going to neutralize almost every lane regardless. So I think it's okay. You get a pass this time, Doran.
One of the differences in this game, for sure, for Lava is that he didn't get the biscuits, some biscuit delivery, so he's, not going to be able to spam his abilities as much as UCal did. So that's something to keep in mind.
Yeah, true.
As we're in this game, he already has backed and teleported back in, so the mana bar being the resource is still true, but he's already gotten a tier, so that's going to make things a little bit easier. I'm just looking for anything interesting in this early game where it's just going to be, a really long one we're strapped into. But one difference there, I noticed already. Something to talk about.
Yeah, I'm doing my best just to stay in it, but I just love that we get a game like this when I'm talking about like, yeah, I'm exhausted, we're going to try and go the distance, and then it's Karma top versus Scion, Seraphine mid, oh my, and Dora misses a cannon creep. Take it away, Wolf.
Yeah, well, I mean, this is just one of those moments where, like, you and I were joking about it, and then production was like, no, don't jinx it. And I was like, yeah, I think we might have already jinxed it, and here we are. And, like, when I'm watching, Hoya smack a cannon minion away, and then getting stunned by the tether there, and then nothing's happening here.
Oh, look at that lane control, though,
Yeah.
Nailed it.
Oh, miss a cannon!
Oh,
no!
Boy! This is the most fun we can have in games like this, okay? At least get the cannons. Oh, guys. Oof.
The absolute state of LCK tonight.
Oh, man. Doran's running out of mana quite a lot here. There's Hoya's going to yell at him. And let's have a look at the jungle. Yeah. Bonnie just traipsing around the river. Umpty's moving on over here to the mid lane. Dove with full knowledge of that one. Just going to help shove this one in. And Lava potentially looking for a back, something like that. Does manage to get that cannon. Very nice work.
Bonnie is not 6 yet. That's going to be the really scary part for the bottom lane. That's going to be when, Hybrid and Zeus can feel a lot more comfortable to actually look for aggressive trades. But Umpty's got it first, and they're actually going to try to make a Drake play here because of the level 6 advantage. This is pretty nice for Fredit Brion.
Yeah, Umpty over, just gonna get to work on the Rift Scuttler. And likely that Umpty just heads towards this Ocean Drake next. Should be something that he should have control over now because, of course, they've got a lot of vision in the area, but decides that he doesn't really want to. He's heading towards his Raptor camp instead. And Henna and Delight just getting to work on this bottom lane.
He doesn't know that Bonnie doesn't have 6. Like, he could have assumed it earlier, and he did see, when he was 6 that Bonnie was 5, but it is scary to think that, a Pantheon could ult in while you're trying to start a Drake here if he does hit 6. He actually doesn't even hit it after those wolves. He's significantly behind his clear. But I think that's one of the main reasons why they don't look for the Drake play initially here. Although, as I say it, see a rotating Lava. There's a lot of question mark pings. Like, they don't know where he is. There's pings actually in the top lane. Like, I think he's up here. They just don't know where Bonnie is right now, so there's some hesitation, but they are going to get away with it.
Yep. Seraphine moving back to the lane. Currently, Dove has a big advantage, actually, as far as CS. Lava not quite nailing it so far. There is the Drake that we were talking about. Umpty pretty comfortably able to grab that one. His position's now known as Hybrid and Zeus. Just looking to clear out the wave as best they can. And, yeah, we've got not a lot of action right now. 600 gold the lead for KT as it all settles. It's largely just CS advantages in bot and mid lane.
Sick tier advantage for Dove, as well. He saw CS
hell
up,
yeah.
and he bought his tier second, and he's still got a 15 stack advantage.
That's what we're talking about now, is it?
Yeah, I'm just saying. Look, went up to 18 right there. He hit another minion with the ball.
Wow, Doran is so far behind everyone. He's got to step up his tier game.
Yeah. Look at that, he broke 100 stacks.
Oh, man. Dove's the best right now. It's confirmed. as Lava will be able to pick up this wave. And yep, and we've got Dove moving into the river. Excellent. But we're not starting off any heralds just yet. See, Hoya was moving on down there. He's got the unsealed spellbook this time around, and has taken the ignite for a little bit of extra lane presence. See how that one is going to work.
Okay, this is going to be the first potential fight here, Atlas. Delight. He's kind of zoned out here actually, and he's about to lose vision. I don't know if he's going to be able to engage. They're so slow on this.
Well, Hoya's left the station now. In they go. So much chain CC as the Moonlight Vigil does come in to try and answer, but I don't know whether it's going to be enough. And Fredit Brion tear them apart in the river. Beautifully done. And I believe they also lock themselves down the Rift Herald.
Yep. Umpty, massive damage in that fight. And I said, you know, I don't know if they'll be able to walk through. They're a little bit slow on this. I wanted to give a cast for Blessing so we'd see some action, right? That was definitely what happened there. As you see Rel attaching to an Olaf. And once again, the engage is just that simple. Press Ragnarok walks in, and they end up grabbing that away. He does grab the Eye of the Herald as well. So nothing missed here. And Fredit Brion taking a pretty big lead here now with the Drake and Herald.
This is getting real interesting. As KT, they ran away with game number 2. They were looking better. But Fredit Brion, they took down the world champions. They certainly have it in them. And let's see what they're going to be able to get done as we have a look at the choo-choo train up close.
Zooming in. That was part of it. The Rel engaged there as well. As I guess we're going to watch this in a more digestible format. Look at Umpty. He gets caught here, but just pops his ult. And then, boom, the Rel Attract Repel combined with the choo-choo train coming through. Arriving
and the
at
charm on top of it from Lava as well. Really nicely done.
Arriving at Wombo Combo Station. It's pulling up right on time.
Fantastic. That I think the line has been extended since the last game. That's what it sort of feels like. Because that definitely got him a great distance. High value. Wonder how much the tickets cost.
Yeah.
As Lava moving back into the mid lane here, we'll be able to clear out this wave quite nicely. Pretty crazy that Seraphine has such good wave clear, even though you're not building very much AP.
I mean, she's just
those
so
levels
consistent.
that work out. Precisely. Flash comes out in trade for a Fate's Call. In fade for a Trade's Call. Nice work, Max.
There you go. It's a long night.
Yeah, I think it is.
It's back to back. Well, you know, that's a trade you'll take. You grab that Zeus Flash any day of the week for Fate's Call. And it was, I mean, if you don't flash there too, you actually very good chance you die. So this is just going to all around be a really nice setup here for Fredit Brion, who are really starting to take a pretty nice lead in this game. This lane has been pretty stable for them as well. So Aphelios isn't getting any turret plates. Yeah, and it's just going to be, it's not going to be the free Aphelios lead that we've seen from Duck Dom, for example, many times recently, where you just run away with things and control the entire map and get a big power spike with your items way faster than the opponent's laner. Pretty stable here, which is good for Fredit Brion at the moment.
Yep, I feel like the Callista pick has been working, and I love that they pair it with the Rel at the same time. Feels like a lot of hard engage. And we've seen a lot of Rels sort of like go in and die as well. It's a bit sort of how she works. Mounted Leona is, you know, an understandable way to describe what she does. But now with Fate's Call, she can hop out and then try and do it again, which is pretty cool. So they do have a lot of ability to get stuff done in team fights, but as the game goes on, there will be that damage question mark, and we'll see how they mitigate that one, because with a lot of Wombo like they have, they still need to be able to crush down those health bars.
Yep, Lava gonna get big money here in the mid lane. That Rift Herald coming through, and they're just gonna look for this Infernal team fight because they have a Rel. And it's just so difficult to fight into this choke if you're KT. Teleport coming through very late here for Lava, actually, so they're going to break through that choke.
Yep, but positioning now is Umpty down to about half health.
Oh!
That huge shield as in goes the Rel. Delight once again. Fantastic, but the shockwave is good as well. Henna trying to get into position as in goes Hoya in towards the backline. Lava trying to kite them out as best he can. Umpty takes the Drake, but they're going to lose out on the fight for the moment as Hoya gets angry, but he's already dead. And Henna's trying his best to escape, and he ain't going to be able to. Doran going to feed the kill over to Hybrid, and KT answer back very nicely.
I mean, that's a really nice setup to start the fight off with the light coming coming through. Magnet Storm is there. The follow-up charm, you know, gonna make it look like, okay, Fredit Brion's got this fight 100%, but the shockwave comes through. The damage output is actually insane. And, you know, a bunch of summoner spells get blown in the fight as well. Like, that was a really scrappy one. Let's actually take a look at this again. Was you see the really nice engage coming through from Delight, right? He just comes in, gets a big pull, and suddenly, you know, there's a follow-up charm, but the shockwave is really good. And Sion is just way too late to this fight, actually. Hoya just comes in. By the time that he's here, everyone else had to peel away. Like, Henna's out of position, can't get damage done, and that's the end of it. So a really nice turn there based on the shockwave, and they don't have a ton of damage follow-up, like safe damage follow-up, Fredit Brion, because this Callista is so low range.
Yeah, not to mention they didn't have Fate's Call for the fight either, so it was the Delight goes in and dies, but the shockwave, absolutely fantastic. Nice work from Dove, making sure that he gets value out of that one. And will we have just a classic 200 years type situation? Because now it's a 2-0-1 Aphelios, and it's in the hands of Hybrid as well, who we know can have those pop-off games. And I'm looking forward to seeing whether he can actually manage to get it done once again, because his game in the second was also pretty good on the Samira.
Yeah, that's the question. I mean, the fast Kraken Slayer here makes this next... whatever next skirmish we end up seeing, right? It's going to be a while, potentially, before we actually see a fight here. Is going to be massively in KT's favor with the advantage they have in terms of that damage output. You have to think, especially when you consider how the combo was so well executed for Fredit Brion and they still couldn't win the fight. I think the positioning for Hoya is going to have to be a little bit better. He's going to have to be a little bit faster into that fight.
Yeah.
Because he's kind of like the cherry on top final part of that engage, like we saw on that Rift Herald fight. So... yeah, if he's a little bit faster, if he can arrive a little bit more on time, and if the train's not late, then I think it looks a lot better for Fredit Brion.
Yep, and, you know, as a Melburnian, I'm very used to having the delays on those trains. Since moving to Korea, it's been much better. So Hoya going to have to channel the Korean train system, absolutely, in order to get there on time. But
yeah, and you know what?
Of course, so it is much easier.
He's going to have to get it done before midnight, too, because that's when the trains stop. And we're getting a little bit closer to that in this game.
Oh, goodness. Yesterday it was like, what, 12:30 that we finished or something?
Yeah.
Like that? It was a late one. This time, haven't had quite as many pauses. Just a reminder to the players, if you want to have an audio issue, now's the time to make sure that we look as silly as possible. And, yeah. Top lane, it's a wash. Don't even know why we're looking at it.
I think
very even on farm.
It's just so even. It's just, you know, some yin-yang effects going on up there.
Yeah, it's just who I can clear the wave, and I can clear the wave, and
they're both 1-1-1. It's so perfect.
Nice, beautiful. The yin and the yang working out very nicely. A couple of Leandries picked up here from Dove and Doran. Of course, you don't have as much of the wave clear that you need on the Karma. You know, like if you go to the Moonstar field, this Dove is dead. Humpty's going to be able to grab that one. Just barely didn't have his flash available.
Yeah, it's like coming online now. So that's actually a really nice timing. Really good call there to actually go for the engage, the gank. Because Lava has to use his ultimate, but that's all they really need. They actually both use their ults. He uses it just to make sure he can guarantee that he's frontlining there and doesn't get caught by the shockwave. And it's a nice cleanup. And we'll watch it again. Ragnarok first as he goes through. They don't see him, there's no vision, and it's just like, okay, charm to guarantee. He doesn't actually hit it.
Who cares?
Yeah, he doesn't hit it, but like the fact that he has to walk left means it's a guaranteed kill.
Yep. Nice positioning there from Humpty. I feel like he could have done that a little bit earlier, but that's okay. 3-0-1 now on the Olaf, and we've laughed at, you know, Olaf's taken all the kills early and things like that, but you know, it worked out for Dread. It's worked out for others in the past as well. I mean, Olaf's still pretty strong in getting towards that Sterix gauge, coming through pretty quickly, as Gordrinker already completed, as you would expect. Turbo Chem Tank. Oh man, it's a turbo train now. Terrifying.
Speed and... it looks like there's no speed limits on the Rift.
No, absolutely not.
Maybe in a future patch with how this is going, but...
I wonder what the actual speed of the train is. It does run at a fixed speed for Hoya.
Yeah, it's
going to move on down. We'll have to calculate it, I think. Not sure how we're going to do that. Is Fredit Brion. They've started off this Drake. KT in position. The train is just going to pass through, but unfortunately there was someone on the tracks as we've started this one off. Charm lands onto a couple. Fate's Call gets the Rel out once again. Zeus not able to do too much with the death sentence, but they are able to confirm the Drake, and KT grabbed their first of the game.
Yeah, this was very much a safe defensive engage for KT once again. You just see the all-in. It's essentially an all-in when the Rel goes in like that, and then KT just survives through and then look for a front-to-back team fight. And this is going to continue to happen if Fredit Brion can't have a more solid follow-up in terms of the damage. And it's an issue with the range. Like, I really like the Kalista pick because it made sure that Aphelios wasn't going to steamroll the early game, which happens so much in the LCK. But now that I see it in practice, it's really rough to execute in terms of the team fights. Like, she's having a really hard time getting that follow-up damage done. And Lava's also building for Moonstone Renewer, so he doesn't have that much damage. Like, this is all up to Umpty, really, to actually get the damage done, which is... I mean, sure, Kalista can still do damage, but it's much harder to do. It's much riskier. The positioning is a lot tougher. And, yeah, the Wombo combos are starting to feel less and less scary as these fights continue to go on.
No, I agree. I think Lava will have damage as the game goes on, right? Like, he does do a bit and needs to complete the Moonstaff combo, which he did just put together.
Yep.
So now a bit of damage can be purchased, I guess. But we're going to have a look at this engage once again. Delight finding some good ones.
Yeah, it's only a solo charm on Bonnie, actually, who has the setup ready the shield ready to block all of that. And I'm going to watch this once again. Let's block.
Our observers just love the Scion ult.
Yep. I mean, they're trying to make this game interesting in any way they can too, you know? Nice flash there. But yeah, that was what was happening on the edge of things.
Yep.
He hasn't been able to, since that first Rift Herald fight, complete the full wombo.
Yeah, and unfortunately the train's falling off the tracks is real bad news because that could have been a much better fight for Fredit Brion. But now Hoya's going to move towards this outer turret. And Doran's falling behind a little bit. They were just trading farm for the most part. But since that, Hoya has moved on up. And him and Lava are currently in the lead when it comes to experience. Hybrid ahead of Henna by 2 levels, though, guys. And that's scary.
I think the fans are really #1 in experience right now. They've got the full LCK experience today and yesterday.
Yep.
The real winner is the fans.
We'd be like level 300 by now, I think. Given the amount of League of Legends that's gone on today.
Okay, this is a good
going
choke.
to continue.
This is okay. Yeah, I was gonna say KT need to back off of here. Fighting into that choke is just asking for the perfect fight.
But what about the Karma teleport flank?
I mean,
am I right? No, I'm wrong. It's not.
Not in this case.
Something that they're looking forward to as Doran clears out those waves. They managed to throw down the Rift Herald into this mid lane, and Shirley's going to get some work done here. Nicely done. Not going to be able to take the full turret, but still, that one's ready to be taken down whenever KT want. 2 minutes on the Mountain Drake. And we're just milling about here a little bit for KT, waiting for some minion waves and things like that. Henna towards the bottom side, but Lava should be able to clear out this wave no problem. Throwing in beatdowns, just pressing as many buttons as he can, and there we go. No, Lava.
Oh.
Oh.
How many?
Oh,
that's
God.
like 4 we've missed this game on camera alone. Like,
yeah, there's been.
Okay.
I think we're all getting tired, right? You know, it's 10 past 11 p.m. here in Korea, and it's the same for the players, right? So that's. I mean, I don't think it's going to do too much. Everyone who is playing in the LCK plays until about 4 a.m. So I don't think that's going to be a big deal. As Hybrid takes a bit of damage there from the beatdown, but not too much of an issue. Beat drop, sorry.
I wonder when KT decide that they have a chance to Baron. Like, I wonder when they're going to say, you know what? Actually, we've had enough successful defensive engages against this team composition where we're actually ending up surviving through the combo, and then Hybrid just kills everybody because he does 1 million damage. He's already got 2 items completed, right? He's got his Rune's Hurricane, and we'll see where he heads for his 3rd item, but I wonder when that's kind of that moment happens for KT where they're like, you know what, we're just going to look for fights on Baron. Because right now this Drake is coming online, that's going to be the focal point. Because they looked like they were maybe considering that Baron fight just moments ago, but I'm going to have to group up to deal with this push in mid.
Oh, it's feeling like a good moment for an Orianna, but Dove isn't there. And Henna getting healed back up again. Yep, that Moonstuff, it's been put together, as you guys know. Fate's Call does come down. That's a double charm to come through there as the Magnet Storm looks like it does a lot of damage. The follow-up, just beautiful, of course, by Fredit Brion, is crushed is the Aphelios. Shockwave lands onto 2. Good sidestep from Henna there, and Delight going to keep himself alive. And this Seraphine, man, like, these mid-games seem so difficult for anyone facing her, and I just don't know whether KT's comp can deal with it like the Fredit Brion comp did in game number 1.
Yeah, this was very, very much a positional issue for KT at the same time. Like, KT was like, okay, well, I didn't have the confidence to take the Baron fight, as we will have a Baron here attempted by Fredit Brion, and I think there's going to be no recourse. They're actually going to be able to get this Drake as well. SMT is speeding it down. But they rotated bottom to look for that Mountain Drake fight, and they were way out of position.
Replay right as the teleport comes in, but
Yeah.
you can break this one down for us as we do have it picture in picture. Looks like the Olaf. Oh, he might just die as we are going to hop out of this replay. Umpty going to get lit on fire. There's the flayback. He doesn't have his ulti just yet, but what is this?
Well,
Sterix needs a nerf. Oh, wait, it's going to get nerfed in 11.3. So, Olaf, you can have that one. He survives for quite some time and eventually does get taken down. And Breath of Wind is going to take this turret, and they do manage to get rid of it.
well, I guess we probably won't jump back to that previous replay, but the issue was that Bonnie and Dove were caught out of position on the other side of the wall, weren't able to join the fight. In this case, it was just a bit of an overextension for Umpty. Ends up getting caught and punished. I don't know which replay this will be. Okay, so look at Bonnie and Dove on the side here. It's not able to set up for anything. And Umpty actually zones them out so well when they try to rotate around. And they end up getting a little bit happy, a little bit of indecision. And the rotation is just way too late. Like, Bonnie's finally in here, and the Shockwave is like, the fight is over, 30 seconds ago before that one comes through, sadly, for Dove. And he is going to get caught and stunned. Has to flash over the wall. But this is a very aggressive play from Fredit Brion, where KT were like, okay, I'm going to make a Drake play. Fredit Brion says, well, I'm going to push mid, and you're going to have to respond. As this is just the slowest death of an Olaf ever.
Yeah, it really is.
He's like, hold on, I have Gore Drinker, I have Sterox, like, I'm not going to die, right? They're like, oh, Pantheon's like, well, hold on, let me come over here and help finish this off. Bonnie's like, oh, got him. 800 gold, thank you very much.
Yeah, beautiful. That shutdown actually pretty worth. So Bonnie going to be happy about that. But it's a 5-1 and 4 Olaf. I feel like the damage is pretty close to being done as far as his position in this game. 15 stacks now on the Magi's. That had 1 before that last fight. But he went from 0-0-4 to 2-0-7. So Lava getting a lot of value there.
Right now, the mid push, for Fredit Brion is pretty strong. He's going to continue to control these waves. Hoping for KT to try to rotate to deal with them through the jungle. That's why they're kind of bouncing between mid and bot. See if anyone tries to come through and end up getting caught by all the CC they have.
Yep.
Fredit Brion,
flowing water completed by Doran as well. Just throw that in there. So his shield's going to be helping. It is a large reason why he's doing absolutely nothing to Hoya. Just shrugs off that damage. Justice Spectre's Cowl. Completed now, moving towards his Spirit Visage, most likely, to augment the Randuin's Omen that he's already put together. Sion going to be very tanky.
True. That's, kind of as you expect. Sion always trying to head towards that. Towards the late game, having all these items completed. Going to make it very difficult to kill him. Very difficult to kill anyone in this game, Atlas, as you could see here.
Yep, killing's not... Okay, that ulti is going to find the Aphelios in the backline. He's just thrown around like a ragdoll, taken out of the fight, and now, the Shockwave onto 4, but it just doesn't matter. The heals are just everywhere. Rel is going to fall down because I think the turret got angry as KT now relegated to their fountain. The inhibitor will fall down. You guys might have been lulling about that Baron power play, but now it's sitting at 2,000 for Fredit Brion, who turn it on.
They do. And, maybe they're able to turn this into something more here. The back into teleport, they're actually looking to end the game.
Yeah, see whether they can, as Hoya is just a brick wall in front of this one.
Hybrid in 10.
He's got a shield for himself as here's Bonnie throwing in with the Grand Skyfall, but he gets stunned as soon as he lands, and the Ragdoll Syndrome continues. The Pantheon just evaporates, but KT might have bought enough time. They lose a Nexus turret. Hook lands onto Hoya, but he's not exactly the target that they want. Hybrid still has to be respected, though, and they will back away.
I respect the attempt. You have Moonstaff, you have a ton of healing. You're going to be able to continue to push that forward. If KT overextend on the chase like Bonnie did, then you get a kill. If Hybrid messes up once again, I don't know which replay this is going to be. Oh, this is going to be Hybrid way out of position. Look how far forward he is when they don't have vision. And he just barely gets caught by the edge of the charm, and then they press the kill button. Instantly an engage here coming through for the Rel. Dove is caught as well, and once they're both down, the defensive options here is so limited. I mean, all of your damage is gone essentially for KT, so they actually just push this all the way until the respawns come through. And I love that as soon as they see the Pantheon ult, they're like, okay, Obani, I guess we'll take you out as well. Buys enough time for those respawns to come through, and KT do eventually defend this. But Hybrid's got to be careful with this positioning. It feels like the millionth time I've said that in this very early part of the 2021 season of LCK, but this has been a consistent issue with him.
Once again, Hoya finds that he runs out of track way too early. He's just checking that wall to see whether that is 9 3/4, maybe.
Yeah, not yet. Haven't found it yet.
Nope, nope.
Not a real
Brion
wizard.
Looking for the Mountain Soul, and that's going to make Hoya nigh unkillable, as he already was getting pretty close to it. Last Whisper is what Hybrid's picked up in order to try and deal with this Scion right now, but it's, I think, the 4 quadrillion health that's part of the problem here, as he has that overshield as well as 4,000.
Not to mention that if Hybrid dies first in these fights because he's caught out of position and gets womboed, then it just doesn't matter what items he has or how much damage he wants to do if he's just dead right at the beginning. I mean, it was on the edge. I mean, it was like a pixel or two, the difference between him not getting hit by that charm and actually getting hit by the ult there from Lala. And he did get caught, and there was a nice follow-up. But you've got to be way more careful than that when this game hangs on a knife's edge right now. KT Rolster, again, we mentioned it before the series even started. You don't 2-0 this, you feel bad. You lose this series, and you're the second team to do so in the LCK to Fredit Brion, and it's going to be a really rough, next few days in the team house. Not to mention this is with Bonnie and Dove on the field, so there's a lot of pressure on these guys.
Yeah, true. It's just been a bit unfortunate so far, but I really like the Fredit Brion composition. I mean, I thought that it was just going to lack damage, but who really cares if you just want to extend fights forever? They've got an unstoppable force coming from the top side of the map, and now they're looking for this Baron. They have a lot of secure because, of course, all those sticks that they will throw into it. Doran over the wall, but not able to offer too much. And remember, KT are lacking front line. Decimating Smash over the wall as Hoya seems to have an infinite health bar. Bonnie's slowed down, and now the train comes forward. Oh no, look, that's a pretty big shield from Bonnie, but it's not going to quite be enough as in goes the Magnet Storm towards the backline. Hybrid trying to keep himself alive, but he's sucked back in and taken down. The Olaf just gigantic. Henna chasing after Doran, gets the double kill, and now Dove is running the wrong direction. Umpty's going to get on top of him. Wants to pick up his axe, does so, and grabs the kill with the last one. Very nicely done, and Fredit Brion will run towards the one last Nexus turret and win the series.
Gonna be the second win of the season. Fantastic play in the later parts of this game. It was a crazy draft. It was a pretty wacky series. We got to see 2 Seraphine mids, but at the end of the day, this is a too sustainable of a comp, too safe of an engage, and Hybrid gets caught one too many times. That's the series going over to Fredit Brion, and this is a team that I feel really can grow and improve.